All right, good morning. We bounced previous day value low and have now traded up to previous day value high on ES. So we've done the full rotation of yesterday's value. Pretty clear that we need to get over this seller here if we want to go higher. And then we can probably push into this guy here. Oh, excuse me.
In 10 minutes time now, at the bottom of the hour, we see the release of the weekly EIA inventories numbers. Crude oil inventories, the forecast is a draw of 0.268 million on the prior draw of 6.858 million. The range is a build of 3 million to a draw of 3 million expected. Gasoline inventories, forecast a draw of 1.847 million on the prior draw of 5.941 million. Distillate inventories, forecast a draw of 2.5 million on the prior draw of 3.362 million. And Cushing inventories, the prior was a build of 1.334 million. Senate Majority Leader Thune says the votes are still not there to fix the filibuster rule.
Getting filibustered on the filibuster vote is crazy.
In 5 minutes' time now, at the bottom of the hour, we see the release of the weekly EIA inventories numbers. Crude oil inventories forecast is a draw of 0.268 million on the prior draw of 6.858 million. The range sees a build of 3 million to a draw of 3 million expected. Gasoline inventories forecast draw 1.847 million on the prior draw of 5.941 million. Distillate inventories forecast is a draw of 2.5 million on the prior draw of 3.362 million, and Cushing inventories, the prior was a build of 1.334 million.
What's up, Sparrow? Yes, pushing into our previous day value high here again. See if we can flip it or if this will hold as our offer.
1 minute remaining. I'll be leading with the EIA crude oil inventories. Ten seconds. A build of 5.2 million. That's a build of 5.202 million, higher than the expected draw of 0.2826 million. Gasoline inventory is a draw of 4.729 million. That's a draw of 4.729 million, deeper than the expected draw of 1.847 million. Distillate inventory is a draw of 0.643 million, which is higher than the expected draw of 2.5 million. Crude Cushing inventory is a build, of just 0.3 million.
What's up, Ty?
We have posted the weekly EIA crude report on the feed for those interested.
This looks okay for potential continuation so far, but I would like to see us push over previous day value high and make this supportive for real confirmation. But ES and NQ now, from our look above, are now holding POC on the daily, which is a good sign for buyers to actually prevail here. We would like to see something like this occur, where this is able to hold for real confirmation, or we will reject, right, put in this lower high, and then rotate below POC here, and then rotate down. And so we're going to keep an eye out for both of these scenarios. If we fail to push highs and build over it from this point, we understand that this is our offer, right? We need to get above this. So we look for these scenarios on both ES and on NQ. For ES, it would again be like this, where we look in, fail to push above, get back below 16s, and then rotate down. So let's just keep an eye on these, see if we can actually push above, or if these fail, and then we can continue down. Got POCs from our previous 15-minute candles holding as support as of right now. Am I in from 20? No, I'm not. What's up, club? Happy Wednesday. Yeah, I'm a little congested. Looking good so far. You have 2.5 minutes until new 15s. One minute until new 15s. We need to show acceptance over previous day value high on ES for this wheel to feel real. Without it, right, this is just going to continue to maintain as our offer, and then we'll look for this rotation back through for the leg down. Need to see that acceptance above. New 15s have opened, opening at POC of previous candle on both NQ and ES.
UK 30-year gilt yield highest since October 21st, up about 6 basis points on the day at 5.257%.
In 10 minutes' time at the top of the hour, New York Fed is due to release their household credit report.
Still no interest over this previous day value high. The stall out is a bit concerning. Holding where we need to so far on ES as well as NQ, but we need to see a pretty big pop here, or again, like things are looking a little rough. The longer we stagnate up here, the less confident I become in it. See if this bid can be found here still at 20s, or if we're going to flip below 16 and then rotate off of our rejection of previous day value. Same thing on NQ here. Need to see like a pretty clear bid at 90s and then pop us up, or we'll flip down and then rotate down to like 660, I think, and then 630. We're just looking for buyers here. Or again, like this is just going to start to really teeter and then come back down to where our previous buyers were if there's no interest up higher.
In 5 minutes' time now, at the top of the hour, we expect the release of the New York Fed Household Credit Report. One minute now till we get the New York Fed Household Credit Report.
If you're playing off of 20s, this is your first risk off as we push into 27 on ES, just previous day value high from our low pivot where our daily POC is resting. This is where we either see our sell side sit and then push us below 16s for continuation down, or we'll look for this low from the maintaining of our balance low to now push above and then ideally hold above previous day value high and make this supportive. If we can see this secondary leg,
So in this
we are
New
looking for
York
the look
Fed report,
over
the third
this
quarter
pivot
household
and
debt
then
is
the
up
hold of it.
1% or $197 billion from the second quarter to a total of $18.6 trillion. Mortgage balances are up 137 billion from the second quarter to a total of $13.1 trillion. Third quarter credit card balances are up 24 billion from the second quarter to a total of 1.23 billion. Auto loan balances steady at 1.66 trillion, and student loans are up 15 billion to a total of 1.65 trillion. The New York Fed noted the third quarter aggregate delinquency rate is elevated, with a stable 4.5% of outstanding debt in trouble. Transition into delinquency rate stabilized in the third quarter. Low delinquency rate for mortgages reflects sector's resilience. Third quarter transition rate into early delinquency was mixed, and transition into serious delinquency was up for most types of borrowing.
Holding POC of previous candle so far. Our pivot still remains intact. Look below failed. See if ES can push above or not. RTY is still incredibly flat. You can see also POC holding from previous 15, rotating up into our sell side POC here. So again, this has to be your first risk off. If we can look above and hold our previous highs as supportive, then we can get a secondary leg up into ADR, right? But until then, you have to risk off one here. It just is what it is. If we can start to see an aggressive sweep up, then we can get a bit more movement. But you have to take your 7 points of profit. And then leave a runner for continuation. If we get the flip above, you can add to that position and then move your stop up. But until then, we are at the top of balance.
We have posted the New York Fed's third quarter household debt and credit report on the feed for those interested. Fed's Myron says better than expected ADP data was a welcome surprise. So Fed Governor Myron currently speaking on Yahoo Finance. Fed's Myron says I still see labour demand being not as strong as we want. And Myron says the data suggests that rates can be a little lower than they are. So again, Fed's Myron currently speaking on Yahoo Finance, and we've put the video on the feed.
Until I have a better read on NQ, I'm just going to be trading ES because the ES rotations are obvious. So until we have a bit more information on NQ, it's just not worth getting chopped up. So you're going to hear me talk about ES until I see something a bit more clear on NQ. Our areas of interest on ES are just so absolutely obvious, it's not even funny.
In 10 minutes' time now, at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time, Bank of England Breeden speaks at a SALT event in London. Fed's Myron says changing border policy is part of lower levels of growth.
Full rotation here on ES again from R20 back to R27. It's the exact same thing I just said. Very clear buyer, very clear seller. 7 points.
Fed's Myron says supply and demand side of the economy both matter. Myron says I see additional investment demand over time. Fed's Myron says increasing uncertainty about tariffs could create economic drag. In 5 minutes' time now, we're expecting comments from Bank of England's Breeden. Fed's Myron says if tariff income went away, it would be a bear on the Fed policy. Myron says most of my projections aren't that different from others. Myron says want to get to the destination for rates faster than others. Myron says I think policy is too restrictive and too far above neutral. Fed's Myron says I am more sanguine on inflation outlook relative to other Fed officials. Myron says keeping policy that restrictive runs unnecessary risks.
Russell into VWAP, ES into our pivot here at 16 to 20, NQ into our lows where we've been absorbing. Let's see if anything changes or if we get more of the same. So slow.
Shortly expecting comments from Bank of England's Breeden.
"30 seconds until new 15s.
Myron says I would think it is still reasonable to continue with rate cuts.
Watch our reaction into previous 15-minute POC and value low. If we are going to hold, that is where your offer will be. This bid still very valid at 16 to 20, but you should be looking for a lower offer here into 21.75 as we push as your first risk off. If that holds, then we can look down for secondary leg. If that does not hold and we push over this, we should look for full rotations back up to 27. This is where your first offer is potentially going to be for a lower sell, right, into this. That would be your first sign of weakness if this does not hold. And then we look below, and then we look for this offer here, and then we look for continuation down, right? If we can hold here, then nothing has changed. We look for our bid, our push, and then a rotation up into target, just like we have been. For me, the sell has to be off of our rotation into our value low and then our rejection of where our previous buyers have been, right? This is why we have it labeled as such. So I need to see this look in, our offer, our failure to get back into this balance, and then our rotation lower. Or to me, this is just going to be our bid, push back up, and then rotation through. I did not mean to do that. With how slow we are and how balanced, we need to see more, right? I need to see secondary sellers step in after a primary sweep for me to think that sell side even has a remote chance. And again, like our first signs of weakness are these rejections of our POC. And we can see the shift down.
Shouldn't mechanically respond to higher stocks.
But I need to now see follow through. Without follow through, we just continue up, right? Our trend is up. So what happens on this smaller time frame, the 15-second, doesn't mean shit if our overall trend is up on the day, right? We're just sideways. So yes, we're starting to get this POC shift. That's good into our resistance, but we need to now see follow through at our lows.
Myron says market-based core PCE inflation is much closer to 2%.
Bottom of our balance here on NQ into our VWAP and our POC from our low. We can flip. Same thing that I'm looking for on ES. We can then look for downside. Without it, it's just going to be where the bid rests. We want to see if Russell can lead. We have this upper balance here. We have just rejected it. We've pushed down and we've rotated. Now what happens into VWAP should give us our decision. Can we hold POC now as resistance, push down, hold it as offer, can look down. If this holds, we look, and then we do this stupid rotation again where we chop here for 30 minutes and then we can look up and then continue. Right? I don't have a better answer for you than that. That's the only thing that makes sense. Our balance up here holds as offer, and we make lower highs, and we push below VWAP, then we can continue
Myron
downward.
says a lot of my outlook hinges
But
on more shelter disinflation.
I need secondary sellers for me to feel confident, or you're just going to get stopped out trying to short a market that is not ready for it.
Myron adds, shelter disinflation is a reason to expect overall inflation easing. So keep in mind now in 10 minutes time at the bottom of the hour, we're expecting comments as well from SNB's Shudin, who's speaking in Zurich.
This is your first risk off on NQ if you are trading off 60 into 93. Again, this is where you would expect your lower high to be if we are going to continue downward. And then we look for the look below for the offer and continuation. If this fails to hold here, just expect full rotations back up into our highs. Cannot be more clear with our pivots. I'm out 1 here on ES and top of range, playing the same thing as before. Same thing on NQ, we can take off 1 here.
In 5 minutes time now at the bottom of the hour, we're expecting comments
Full
from S&P's
rotation.
Shuden, who speaks in Zurich.
Have we seen any signs that we want to go higher than this yet? No, right? So we take off risk. Is it is it meaningful that we held our lows? Yes, definitely. Is it meaningful that sell side had no interest at our lows, no ability to push below? Yeah, right? So we want to leave a runner because there's still that interest for the higher high on the higher time frame, right? We are still in our uptrend. We are holding our balance. We have seen no shift below, but I have to risk off into our known seller, and then I'm looking to leave a runner for a new high. I want to play the overall trend, and I want to be playing our edges, and again, there's nothing else. Now I just have to chill. If we can get this look above and hold, amazing, right? We held our lows balance in our higher time frame uptrend. We want to see this shift above. We want to see this hold. We don't want to see us look back below because then it's just our balance play like usual, which is a failure in our highs. We then look to see the offer, and then we look to play the rotation down, right? Either balance high holds is supportive, and then we look for continuation higher, or this fails here. We trap these idiots into the highs, and then we look off, and then we rotate through the balance. It is what it is. ES and NQ. Trades in chat.
Shortly expecting possible comments from S&B's Shuden.
I mean, I didn't understand what was happening on NQ for a while there, so I was positioning on ES rather heavily because ES made sense to me and NQ did not until we got to that low, and then NQ made sense because ES was holding. So that's when I positioned on NQ, but I did not position on NQ before that. And then I doubled up NQ, MNQ, and ES as we were coming into a low. So I was already, yeah, you can see that. I posted my ES as well. That's the last one. So that entire time I was positioned on ES into 20s. Right? Yeah, no, I get you. Here, like that MNQ is what I just posted. And this is ES as well, just so that you have both as a reference. So you can see like I got in at different times, but at no point was I in ES, or sorry, NQ or MNQ before that low on ES and on NQ. Here, this is my NQ chart. So I'm fully out on NQ. And now I'm just in my micro MNQ, and I have one position open on ES as well. So I've taken off most risk. But you see I got different fills on NQ and MNQ. But at no point did I buy the knife catch. I bought the higher low with the ES holding where we needed. So I mean, again, like I have to respect the higher time frame trend. I can't continue to just be like, no, the market's wrong, right? Like it didn't work yesterday. I'm not gonna try it today. Like we're playing our edges. We're doing nothing else. We're learning from my tilt yesterday. This is not my auction. If I try to do micro moves, I'm just going to stop myself out over
Bank of
and over
England's
again.
Breeden says it's really important that the US and UK synchronized on stablecoin regulation. So again, important that the US and UK are synchronized on stablecoin regulation.
I know how price moves on in higher volatility that's more liquid and has more momentum. I'm very good at those auctions, and I can usually path and predict how price will move in those on a smaller time frame. But in this market, like this smaller time frame shit does not matter. Like as long as we're holding our higher time frame and our major pivots are holding, like I have got to just stick to my guns. Like I was so absolutely right yesterday with the higher time frame logic of our us being into our ADRs on Russell and ES, and I closed that trade to then try to play a counter trend rotation scalp. Like what am I doing? Like it just didn't make sense. Like just annoyed myself yesterday to a point of like, all right, like I gotta go. Like again, like I wasn't even not profitable yesterday. I just like took so many stop outs trying to play micro moves instead of just staying in my original position from right when I got on. I was just like, what am I doing? I'm trying to do too much is what I'm doing. Oh, I'm sure. And that's fine. It's okay. It wouldn't have gotten more clear for me because I was already tilted. You get me? I'm okay missing out on action because I know that I wasn't in a proper state of mind where it would have been okay. So even if it gotten clearer, I would have then tried to emotionally trade in the opposite direction because I was just mad. So I'm glad the market got clearer for you guys for the second half, but again, like it's not a market thing, it's a me thing. And it's dangerous if I'm tilted because you guys listen to me. So if I don't have a clear picture, I need to leave because I'm a detriment. I have to realize when that's happening and be like, okay, well, not what I wanted to happen did not happen. I have now lost. I've stopped out. So even though usually when I'm wrong, we counter it and then we go the opposite direction and then we win, I was not there. right? Like just mentally, it's just like, all right, I'll let Mario deal with it. Understanding your mental is just so important. With Russell breaking, maybe it helps here to that target. Oh, I forgot you can't see club here. This is what we just did. This is NQ from our hold of our lows and rotation up. I've got a runner on MNQ that I'm still holding, and I've got a runner on ES from our 19, but for the most part, I am flat. I'm just in runners now, looking to see if we can hold here. If we can get the continuation, here's our ES trade. These are posted in Discord. Just playing our lows and then playing our rotation up. I'm looking to see if we can hold here now. If we can do this, then awesome, we can keep going. If not, if this fails, then we'll look for this rotation back through the balance, just like usual. But very slow market. I am not great at these markets, but if we can play our edges, it doesn't fucking matter. I just have to be willing to let my stop, right? Again, I'm not looking for shorts unless we look below, and then we're willing to play this off our risk from our look above, and then our look back below for our offer, and then a rotation down, this being first target. I'm not looking for continuation shorts out of this structure until I see a bounce here at this low, and then an offer back in here, playing this as our risk for rotations down and continuation. Until then, this is just balance, and now we are trying to attempt to hold the high of our balance for a secondary bid here for rotations up into our 39 to 42 area as our first target, if we can hold here. Secondary target would be like 49, 849. But we've got to see it to believe it. It's trying, definitely. But now it's just a waiting game in our runners to see if we can get this move.
SMB
We need
says
secondary
major challenge
buyers
today
up here.
is US tariff
Or again,
policy,
we'll
which has increased global
trap.
uncertainty.
If we get the trap, it should be pretty obvious where we get a look above. This fails, we get a sweeper below. These guys then become offsides. We then play the rejection, the rotation back into our balance, and then the rotation through our balance, right? And then you expect a bounce to be here. So that has to be your first risk off for shorts. Either balance high holds or we fail and we rotate through, right? Like that's the logic that I'm trying to really push upon you. Let's see what happens now. But yeah, you're totally right. With Russell breaking outside of this range and leading to the upside, it definitely is a sign of potential continuation. Things that I'm watching for is what happens here into our reversion zone to previous high. If we can't show any interest above this, we might need to chop a bit here and retest, let's say, oops, wrong tool. Retest, hello? Retest into this and then rotate back down into this node here and then continue onward like so. I'm unsure, but if we lose momentum into these highs, I could see that potentially happening. We'll have to just be patient and wait. Sell side is really trying here in NQ. Getting absorbed so far into this 30 to 40. Oh, Lord. You know the market's garbage when I'm playing ES.
S&B student says the franc appreciated in real terms this year. Offer is sitting at 840 on ES. I probably risk off into that, to be honest. It's $1,000 a contract from 820. Or from yeah. This is our ADR here on ES. We can flip this. We can look up again for like another 7 points. But this seems like a pretty decent risk off for me. You can either move stops up, do whatever you want. I mean, this is our secondary buyer entry that we had targeted. Buyer here, buyer here. If we can hold this, awesome. Kind of expecting that. Shudin says S&B monetary policy is expansionary.
We might have potential up to, I don't know, 45. But I'm a bit iffy in this area, not gonna lie. So you can either just move stops up, secure gains, or just risk off. This offer isn't moving here at 40. So I am off on ES, and I only have my MNQ in left. Yeah, we definitely could. I'm leaving my NQ for that. I'm flat now on ES. Personally, do whatever you want. Again, uptrend is still persistent. I just I'm out on that, and then I have my runners on NQ. I did not mean to delete that. How do I click this one? There we go. If again, like if you played your secondary signal off of the pathing of the look above and hold, this is first target. If we can push above this, awesome. We'll get continuation. I think we could potentially see a little bit of a chop up here first, but you should have room to 45, I think, on an ES. I am now just positioned on an NQ at 64 as my average. I'll be right back. If Russell continues to have momentum, we should be all right. This is first target here on NQ into 74. It's a very good sign that Russell's just continuing. I don't have any targets for this. I guess just gap fill. We can mark the low of this balance and then the high here into this node. ADR is great, man. Into our 45 target here in ES. I think that we chop here for a little bit. 45 made sense. Offers pretty solid there so far. I think we got to build it out now. I'd love to see a retest. I mean, Russell's still pushing, so this can definitely go, but I'd like to see a bit of a structural retest here into like this edge. Be solid to me. If we don't look down first, I'm not incredibly happy. I'd love to see like this build out and do something like this and then go. If this just kind of goes with Russell moving, so it's getting a little too thin on our profile for me to want to add or do anything. 638, yeah, that's what I think as well. Or 838, yeah. Again, I am flat on ES. I am just in my NQ position from 64 low.
US stocks extending gains with the S&P now up 0.7%, the Nasdaq up 0.9, and the Dow up 0.3. Holy.
Oh man, it doesn't show both.
According to Interfax, the US informed Russia on Minuteman missile launch.
Hey, girly. Hi. Hey, pup. What time is it? 12? You're a little early to come out of your slumber to look for a walk. She's got a new bandana. It's got pumpkins on it.
SMB's Shuden says we expect inflation in the desired range with current interest rate.
If you want people to listen, this is a pro tip. If you want people to all of a sudden become extroverts and friendly to you on the street, just put a bandana on your dog. People talk to me so much more. It is insane. Yes, literally every 5 seconds. Actually crazy. I don't know about Riz, but it gives people an opening, that is for sure. You don't even need the service dog, man. You just need the vest. Everyone thinks I have a service dog just because I have that like tactical vest on her. And I'm like, no, I'm the service animal for my dog because she's deaf. Ugh. It's the opposite. Dude, this candle's getting a little thick on NQ. This 15-minute candle is thicker. Very thick. I have never once been the person you think I am in your head, Grotto. Let's be clear about that. not a day of my life have I been the person you imagined me to be. Yo, this Russell flag is keeping the market alive. Holy. What are our gamma levels for today? Are we there? 770. Looks like we had room to 820 on SPX. Oh yeah, we're there. Okay, that makes sense why we've paused. Yeah, we're at our gamma wall here. Here, I'll post this. There you go. I think she has to go out. I might have to dead peer in a minute. She is like pretty adamant that I stop what I'm doing. What I'm doing. So you can see our top balance here into our 6820 on SPX, and our low here into our 750, with our 805 kind of being our mid here for where we're looking for that bounce for the pop. So just keep that in mind.
And Netflix say they will roll out new modular ad formats globally by the second quarter of next year. Netflix shares currently extending gains up around 0.5%.
I'm so surprised the Cleveland mayor got voted back in. I thought people would really not vote for him this year because of the Browns garbage, but and no one wants the other candidate. She was awful. He literally lost the Cleveland Browns and he still won. That's crazy. It always blows my mind looking at how many votes there were in the election results for like county. Like state elections, literally no one votes. It's insane. How few? I mean, the mayoral vote for Cleveland was 31,000 votes for Justin Bibb, who won, and 10,600 votes for the other candidate. I mean, that's insane. The mayor for Rock Creek was 84 votes versus 83 votes. He won by 1 vote. So crazy. I don't know. Fair. I mean, these votes are like 2,000 versus 1,000. Like it's insane. No one voted. I could have bribed people with chicken sandwiches, and we could have changed the entire electoral base if I gave them like a pizza party. You know, like it's crazy.
S&B shooting says S&B balance sheet double the current size would also work.
Good bounce on our lows here, holding POC of our previous candle on NQ. Rotation back up of our zones. Everything is holding so far. ES holding our ADR, rotation back up. That being said, need to show interest over 45s for this to be real, or this is just our new balance for the meantime, right? That's why we have it zoned off the way we do. Same thing on NQ, need to show interest over 75 to 90 for me to see any interest for higher, or this is just the start of our downtrend to the downside, failure to get back over value on this node, and then push down further in continuation. What we want to see is a very clear
Poland
bid
is in
above.
talks to import more US LNG to supply Ukraine and Slovakia, according to two sources familiar with the negotiations.
Same thing on ES, of course, right? We want to hold this low, we want to show interest above, and then be able to take out highs, just like we did for our secondary bid below, right? Here. We'll see something very similar, or we'll have to retrace. We flip this pivot here that Aram and I were looking for. Then this is going to go back to this low, and then we'll have to figure out if this goes down like so, or if this pops back up and then continues onward, right? So let's just hope that they do it in this first test here, or we'll have some issues, I think. Oof. 10 seconds till new 15s. Like, these people could have completely changed their economy, but only 500 people voted. Like, what are we doing? Like, you really let... like, what? It's just insane. It's insane, man. No one votes.
US Treasury yields extend their rise in midday trading, with the 10-year yield last up 6 basis points at around 4.157%.
They just complain on Twitter. That's what they do. 18% of registered voters in Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, voted. In our county. That's crazy. The lowest turnout was 9.3% in Ward 14. Holy. People are so disinterested. They're just over it. No confirmation yet, but if we can pop this, looks good. Good hold of our lows so far. It's a great first risk off, and then we look to see if this can flip.
The US-Canada 10-year spread hits 100 basis points for the first time since June.
I don't know. See if we can get this pop and hold. Looks good so far, following our pathing. Yes, into target here into 49.75. We'll look above here on 90 on NQ. I need to see that sustain above 90. If we can do that, we can go higher. This continues to fail on the look above. Look back below 75 could re-offer this area.
US stocks extend gains with the Nasdaq up 1%.
Yep. What's up, Kevin? Just gotta play with it. If you're playing off of 90, I think this is a great first risk off. As we push into our 810, 820, no real change here. Same thing with ES pushing up. I don't have targets for ES. I'll have to go find some. It's not like we don't have this huge ass range to play around. I have 74, but I think 68 and then 74 will be good. Let's see what happens into this. Okay, that's probably good enough. I'm just in runners now and NQ off of our flip of 75 to 90. I fully closed my position from 64 below.
S&P 500 still extending gains here, up around spot 85% now.
Took a couple 20-point shorts, been hands off for a while. Yeah, I didn't want to fall for the same trap I was doing yesterday, which is like I basically just gave myself a strict invalidation level, and I was like, okay, here are two edges. You can either play the longs at the low with the higher time frame trend, or you could short the top and look for the reversion back to our edge down here. This was our idea with that. It was like, I'm not looking for shorts unless I see, like, we knew this was our seller. We knew that from the moment I got on, and we knew that we needed to get back above this, but we were failing. So it was like, okay, well, we know that we have a buyer down here. We know this is our seller up here from yesterday, right? It's the flip. So we had the seller that flipped our auction here. And then it was like, okay, we either get above this guy and we bid for continuation up, or we come back down to this low. And I'm not looking for a short until we reject this low from a look below and then hold this buyer as our offer or as our seller, right? Once we do that, we can then rotate through this really poor structure and come back down. But I basically was like, well, this is our bid until proven otherwise. And I know it's choppy, but we have a higher time frame uptrend. I have to play it until we actually reject. And it's the same thing on ES as well. Like this was our idea. Only looking for the short if we could flip below our pivot here and then look to play the offer from 16 to 20 from the look below. Until then, the 16 to 20 was our bid. and we would look to play up to 27 to 30. If we could flip over this, then we'd look for secondary buyers here for rotations higher. Targeting 45 was our target. We held our 45, then held our low pivot here at our 39 to 36 area. This bid, following our pathing, we got our push over our 45s again. That held bid, and then we've rotated up. So it's just like we held our lows, so if sell side doesn't want to push us lower, like I can't be the guy who's going to do it. Like I'm trading 3 lots. I'm not moving the market. So just play with it instead of trying to do anything crazy. Cause I was telling Aram earlier, it's like we were so right about the higher time frame idea yesterday, but I closed my position so early to then try to catch minor rotations, and it screwed me. It's like, okay, well today I'm just not gonna do that because I took so many stops trying to catch like little micro rotations, and instead of just like staying in my short from high. It's so dumb. So today we're doing just that. I am the market? I don't know about that one. I usually have a decent read, that's for sure, but some days I'm just off. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I mean, it seems like London is kind of like the gold mine right now, which is like my worst market conditions, to be honest. When Asia and London are like moving the needle, I just struggle because I don't have the patience. I've got like horrible ADHD, and like these market conditions are so bad for me because I cannot stay focused. I know that's like the issue is I just can't do it. Just can't. Not my auction, bro. You know, it is what it is. I need speed. Yes, exactly. And that's what I was telling I think it was Ty earlier. It's like when I left, the market started to move, and like that's cool, but like that doesn't matter to me. Like I wouldn't have made that money. I was tilted. Like I had to go. Just like let me secure my profits, not give it back, and not try to like counter trend myself because I'm tilted. Let's just leave. It is what it is. I'm glad the market started to move for y'all, but like I'm out. Come back tomorrow, you know? And I'm glad I did, and we had a great day today. Huge day. Everything worked. I don't know if we would have been in that same position if I had tried to like tilt trade for the rest of the day. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a skill that you start to learn. Just being like, I'm not in the right state of mind. Peace. Just exited a little bit more here on NQ from our flip for our 75 to 90. into 830. I'm just slowly exiting this position to leave runners. Just want to make sure we're taking some profit. Russell is showing a little bit of a divergent, so that's why I'm taking a little off just in case. Want to make sure we secure this so that I can keep my stop where it is and still be profitable. Oh yeah, like a stress ball. That's good. I need to get a new fidget. Something. I just have like this like pill bottle, this little like nicotine lozenge bottle that I play with. Just like twist the cap. I need something. How much does it cost, Surf? Oh, easy buy. You just have your vape? Yeah, I don't vape anymore, so yeah. Yeah, I just have like a nicotine lozenge. That's it. I don't know, a couple months. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that listen, I am a vape advocate. I am a vape advocate. I think they're great. All of the studies that have come out are absolute nonsense. Like, if anyone quotes formaldehyde to you, they don't know what they're talking about. But if you are able to not smoke at all, I would just go with like a lozenge, something like that. But anything's better than a cigarette. I think vapes are great. Just don't buy like the cheap Chinese crap. Don't go with disposables. Caffeine pills? Oh, THC energy. Hell no. Why is THC in the names, you know? Wait, I'm so confused. What is this? This website is so annoying. I can't look at your... This pop-up keeps pushing up. Okay, there it is. Top right corner is the little X. Wait, so is there cannabis in it? Or no? Oh, no, there isn't. Oh, no, there is. CBD. Oh, and THC. What? Interesting. I used to smoke CBD. I used to mix my my nicotine juice with CBD juice, half and half. That was good. I don't know why they put like actual THC in there though. CBD is good. I like CBD. Growing your own tobacco is crazy. That's super cool. Yeah, if I was working from home full time, I would be on the vape still, but I'm not. I'm like half my time is spent at a hospital. I can't vape at a hospital, so I just lozenges it is until further notice. Again, I have no problem with vapes. I think vapes are good, but
Germany Chancellor Merz says the steel industry is of strategic interest to Germany. So we're just under 10 minutes away now to the top of the hour, where Trump is due to speak at the America Business Forum. We've posted a live video to this on the feed for those interested.
I don't know how much longer I'm gonna last, boys. We're slowing down. We made our money. I'm not really trying to sit through lunch. Go walk the dog and enjoy some sun before it's dark at 4 p.m. And I'm depressed out of my mind. It is insane how early it gets dark here, man. It's so sad. Like, it is so sad. It is so sad. What am I doing outside of trading? My passion project, yeah. Working for the Cleveland Clinic right now, doing some work for them. Art-wise. Yeah. Honestly, it feels more like a consultancy job than anything. But yes, that is what I'm doing as well. Which is why I feel like very split right now from trading. Like, I just want to make my money and like run, man. I do not have it in me to do like these full days anymore. It was so tiring. It's like I had to get back into doing something else as well, because like staring at these charts all day is just not the move. I want to live my life, do what I want to enjoy as well. Yeah. Build that cushion. I don't know. I'm like pretty serious about like once my doggo dies, which I don't know how long she has. We'll see. She's still like pretty spry, but her body is definitely giving up on her. But when she dies, I don't know if I stay in the United States or if I go move to like Asia or something.
It's been 5 minutes time now.
I actually,
Again,
like,
Trump is due to speak at
unironically,
the America Business Forum in Florida.
would live
We've
in
got the live
China.
video on the feed for those interested.
Like living in China and still being able to trade full time, but being able to like go wherever sounds so good to me. Cost of living is so incredibly cheap in China. And having like American dollars in a country like that is just like a superpower. Like it's insane. Your buying power is just absolutely insane. Yeah, probably. But I mean, it's only for a couple hours, so it'd be like before. I'd either be waking up earlier or going to bed or earlier. Just like I mean, you have to think like I trade like 3.5 hours a day these days. If I can do that and then also be able to like explore and eat really good food and like be somewhere that I want to be, feel a little bit more alive, I think that's the move. I don't know. That's kind of the plan. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was just telling Darren is like, dude, I need a break, brother. That's why I started to focus on art a bit more again. It's like I need to do something else before I burn out. An artsy type of city. All my family's here. Literally all of my family is in Cleveland. My brothers, my sisters, my dad, my mom, my grandma, like all of my family, all of my cousins, like every single family member is here. So it's just like it feels bad being away from them. But there's really nothing stopping me. Again, like I moved here because I was in a relationship that, and then our company was based here. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's just like my family's here. I was waiting for my brothers to graduate from college and like get secured before I dipped. And then that kind of passed, and now it's just like I don't know. That's just what I know, man. It's my home. I grew up here. It's hard to leave. If I'm gonna leave though, like I'm gonna leave. Like I'm leaving the country, not the state. I've left the state and I've lived in other states before. It's whatever. That just feels bad. I don't know. I lived in Georgia for like 5 years. It was whatever. Or 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. It's the problem is that my family is like me, whereas like I'm not in front of them, we won't talk. Right? Like we don't text. We're not texters. We're not anything. Right? We all love each other, but we're all doing our own thing. And like if you're not directly in front of our faces, like you will never hear from us ever again. So if I want to like have relationships with my family, knowing like how neurodivergent my entire family is, I have to be here to have a relationship with them.
From Trump,
Or I will never hear from them again.
The live videos on the feed.
Like we all love each other so much, but we are incredibly bad at communication. Like if I left the city, like when I was living in Georgia, I heard from my dad once a year. Living here, I see him once a week at least. We get dinner, we like hang out, we do things. It's just like it's not like my family is not good at that kind of stuff. New 15's opening now. Peace, bro. I left at 17, packed a backpack, and jumped on the Greyhounds. I mean, good for you, man. I'm glad it worked out. I also left at 17 for college, and then it was like, yeah, I'm on my own. And again, with like how my family is, like everyone just like dipped out of my life immediately as soon as I was out of their line of sight. It's just like, all right. It's like my brother visited me once while I was there, and then no other family came to visit me while I was in school or in Georgia in general. It's like, all right, I'm alone. We got to make it work. Get a job, pay off these loans. Did we 3-bar here on the 15? I don't know. Yes is not looking great. I mean, it looks okay. Sorry, I worded that poorly. It does not look as good as NQ. We'll see. I took off a little bit more risk here. Just waiting this out. Again, like I'm just in my runners from 90. Yeah, sure, man. Okay, so first, Abu, this is, we held our 30-second opening range, and we got back into yesterday's value. So this is yesterday's volume profile. So to me, this is what I was looking at. So this is our volume profile from yesterday, right? This is our value edge, and this is our value edge. So this is where we expect price to rotate if we are inside of it. So our opening today on NQ, we looked below, and then we looked back above our 30-second opening range at our open, right? And then we were back inside yesterday's value, right? So I'm now looking at this as us pushing, and this is our 30-second opening range from yesterday, as well as our value high. So we rotated back down, we held our POC, this is our retest, so we held our pivot, and then we rotated up off of this, and now this is our 30-second, this is our value from yesterday. We're now trying to hold our value high from yesterday as supportive to continue up higher. So at no point can I be bearish on the day because we are inside yesterday's value area, right? So I expect us to traverse yesterday's value area. And then when we look above it, I expect us to then hold and then bid off of it for continuation up, unless we push back below and through it. So that's kind of the idea on the day, is like we held our lows, we recovered our lows. So I expect rotations up, and I have to play around that with that respect in mind, that we have a buyer down here that's willing to maintain and to continue higher, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? So we have this uptrend intact, which is the idea. So on the higher time frame, I understand that we have buyers that are bidding at higher prices. So when we go into the more like micro structure of what we were looking for today, the idea was that price is balanced between our 30-second opening range from yesterday, which was this high, which was what we marked as our resistance, and then this low, which was where we saw the bid sweep through price-wise on the way back up. This is our value to POC of this 15-minute candle, and I can show that on Footprint in a second. But actually, let me show that now, just so that you can see it, so you're not confused. This area here, our 60 to 38, is this POC to this value low of this 15-minute candle after we've created an excess in our lows. And then we saw a bid step up and rotate us up. So to me, this is our area of interest. Yes? So I'm looking at this as our low, and I'm not looking for downside until we can push below this value and make this POC resistance. So the idea here on NQ was that as long as this low is maintaining where this buyer stepped in, I'm looking for upside rotations. And we are looking for a secondary leg if we can push over, remember, this resistance here, which is our 30-second opening range from yesterday. So if we can start to sustain above, then we get this really nice secondary move off this area. So we know that price, or NQ, is in a balanced area in between our red and yellow boxes. And we expect a secondary leg if we can hold where our previous sellers were, and if buyers are now willing to step in and hold the top of our balance, we should look for continuation. So that's the idea. So our levels are just that, right? We got our hold of our top of balance. We rotated up into target. We then retested our top of balance as supportive, the same as before. And then we rotated up, and then we held, or we shifted from where these sellers were to now where our bid was resting, and then we rotated up again, right? Which is why I bid off of this 90 for that continuation up, because we're getting higher lows, right? Our sellers are becoming supportive, and that pushes up, 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 up. Does that make sense? So it's just continuation of trend. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs, right? Yeah, and to add on to that, because I think it's very important, look at what ES was doing while we were doing that. This was what we were looking at on ES. So we had the same structural levels, but I think it was a bit more apparent on ES. We had this buyer at 20 to 16. And as long as this was maintaining, I was expecting price to be able to continue to go higher. And we were expecting that the same thing was going to happen, where our sellers would flip to buyers on the look above if we were able to hold our lows, giving you two different entries. So it's the same thing structurally, right? We have a balance that we've created. We have an outlier below. And as long as this guy is holding and maintaining, we shouldn't expect an insane downside, especially if our buyers are now back, right, after this low. So these guys remain off sides, and now we have a buyer stepping in at higher prices, right? So as long as these guys are willing to maintain that price, we can look up, and then it's the same thing, just taking out our sellers, continuing higher. So what I needed to see from sellers for this to go down is for this range to hold a lower high, right? So what we were looking for is for sellers to be here at POC. After a look down, right? We then hold this as resistance for a continuation down. That would have been our signal to then play a short on with this as our risk. We did not get that. We held our lows, right? And then we pushed through our value and then rotated up. So as long as that's maintaining, I cannot short because nothing is invalidated, right? If we go to our rule set that we've created for ourselves, we have to play our value correctly.
The Bank of Canada has cut 10% of staff as Canada's PM Carney hunts for savings.
Right? if value low is holding, and then we hold POC as supportive and we push over our value high, we expect value high to remain supportive, right? So as long as that value high is holding, we continue up. I have to play and I have to respect our ideas of how we treat balance. So that was the idea. And again, like if we had pushed below this and then held this as offer, I would have played this back down to our 30-second opening range to fix this awful structure that we have here off of the morning sweep. But we held, right? So I have to play to the upside because we're still maintaining higher lows. Hopefully that was helpful. And all of our structural levels are just based off of footprint on the 15-minute. You can change the size of your recording. Like you just like move it in OBS. In the window capture, you can like create an area, a splice that you want to record. Yeah. You can get like even more advanced with it where you can like splice multiple monitors and then put it in the same layout. But that can get a bit confusing. Yeah. $50 seconds till new 15s. I'm probably gonna head out here soon, boys. See what happens in the new 15s. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, Abu. And yeah, it's hard, man. There's so much going on, right? And it's so hard to remain focused on the bigger picture. Just keep watching stream. I think you'll start to get it. I think creating some rules for yourself about how you interact with price, right? Like what you're actually looking for, and like creating plans of like, okay, I take trades when these things happen, right? I need this criteria to be here. Cuts out a lot of that noise that you're talking about, right? Because like what I just said was super simple for you, right? Like you were able to follow along. So use my logic to create criteria for you
Totally expecting the
for when
results
you
from the
trade.
reverse repo facility.
Right, like that's the most important part, is creating those safety rails for yourself so that you can remain focused when things get a little messy, right? You want to be able to get yourself back on track, and that's going to happen by creating those guardrails for yourself and creating those constraints of like stepping back and being like, okay, well, what does the structure look like? That's the thing that I actually care about, right? Because if you get too caught up in the chop, right, the monotony of everything, it's very easy to start overlooking very good setups for very poor setups that are more emotional. We have a full class on this, a couple classes based on the difference between mechanical and discretionary trading, and how to separate yourself and create trade plans. It goes over a lot of the stuff I just talked about in much more detail. But if you just like hang out with me 3 days a week, you'll start learning and ask questions like you just did.
12 counterparties take $12.7 billion at the Fed's reverse repo operation.
The more questions you ask and the more times you tell me to like break things down, the more familiar you'll become and the more you'll work those muscles and you'll start seeing the same stuff. Promise. Really nice hold on our pivot on ES. Insane, actually. I've taken off a little bit more in NQ just because I want to leave. That's literally the only reason. I just want to leave. So I'm taking a little bit more profit into the high. I've got runners still. Stop still sitting at 75, but I might just leave these as like my stop break even, and then just put like a random PT on this and then walk away. Let's create a price point because like I could put this up at 863 and either I get stopped out below 75 or we trade up into this, and then I would put my PTs at 63 and then 90. Let me do that right now actually. And then just chill. I'm gonna put one PT here at 60. And then 90. My DOM just lagged so much. What the heck? That was crazy. It's lunch hours now, so I'm not really expecting anything crazy. This looks pretty garbage. When we ever get in situations like this, just put a fixed range on it. Call it a day. Watch how we build out. Like there's literally nothing else you can do. Just let it be. Surf, do you find that DOM helpful, or are you missing? Are you actually finding new trading opportunities because of that DOM? I guess is the question I'm trying to ask. Like I know it's not helpful, but are you actually finding new opportunities is the question. President Trump will deliver a big speech today about the U.S. economy. He's going to be talking soon. That link didn't work. I'll post it in chat. It's on Fox News. I think Newsbot might be down again. At Tom. I believe that this is supposed to go on at 2.
Voice News.
So keep that in mind that Trump speaks at 2. Yeah, he's also going to say groceries have never been cheaper. Gas is $1. Eggs are 50 cents. Milk is $0.25. Our beef has never been cheaper. Oh, Lord. I'll talk about eggs for 5 minutes in a rant. It's going to be a huge speech. All right. Well, guys, like Trump's speaking at 2. Like I don't expect the market to do a ton here. I'm just gonna leave my stops where they are. I've already taken profit from our 90 hold. I've got targets at 860 and 890 above. I'm just watching to see how we interact here into our 75 to 90 below. We might need to structurally repair some of this area if we continue to like peter out here, right? If we start to like curl over, just coming back down into this lower structure first before we can continue on our way. There's a lot of potential for that if we continue to just chop, but support is still being maintained. There's no change. There's just no interest higher as of yet. So we might just need to wait this out. I personally do not have the patience to sit here for Trump to be late for 40 minutes at 2 o'clock while we wait for a trade to happen. So I am going to dip out. We had some really nice structural trades today. Yeah, I mean, the plan is on chart of what we look for if this fails. We have targets above on ES and NQ ready to go for you. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really am not trying to sit here for multiple hours of nothing. Let me put a anchored VWAP here from the low. Great. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you have any questions, just DM me. New 15s are opening here. This is how I'm currently set up on my runners. But yeah, I'm gonna either get stopped out or profits will be taken. Here are all the transactions from today. All right. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Peace. Yeah. I'll post charts in chat once I get off of YouTube stream for you. Again, Trump is supposed to talk at 2. I've never seen this man show up on time. Maybe he will for the first time in his life. But just be aware that that's happening in potentially 30 minutes. Again, I will post the link in chat for you. Just, there you go. Okay. Bye, friends. Talk to you all tomorrow.